Surprise! I'm in London. Hey guys, before we get into it, let's talk beauty. Who doesn't want energy, metabolic, immune, and skin support? Meet Peak, a luxury brand transforming wellness with the absolute best rare and precious plants, cutting edge ingredients, and formulations rooted in traditional wisdom. Their science-backed botanicals, minerals, and supplements support sustained energy, metabolic function, immune health, and radiant skin, making it easy to live each day with vitality. One of their newest essentials, the Deep Hydration Protocol, is a two-part drinkable skincare system that keeps your body and skin hydrated while promoting better sleep. Made without sugar, fillers, or artificial flavors, and crafted with natural ingredients for a clean, spa-like taste you can feel good about. Daily use supports hydration, glowing skin, improved sleep, and sustained energy. In the morning, I use BT Fountain. This is their beauty electrolyte. I can even travel with it. It's amazing. And in the evening, I'm going to be relying on RE Fountain. This is the calming electrolyte. It contains a gentle form of magnesium that eases tension and helps you get deep, restful sleep without feeling groggy. Wake up rested and stay hydrated all day. Get 20% off for life, a complimentary gift, and explore Peak's clean, pure ingredient products at peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. This is hydration redefined. Try it and glow from the inside out. Hi, all. I am entirely sleep deprived, but I wanted to check in with you and let you know that I am currently in the UK and I would love your help. Would you like to contribute this week as I talk to some of our favorite royal correspondents and royal authors? What would you ask Valentine Lowe if you were having a conversation with him? So leave your comments or leave your questions in the comments, and we will look through them and pull some of them throughout the week. For authors like Valentine Lowe, I'd love to know what you'd ask him. Tom Bower. We love Tom Bower here at Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered. And we had an incredible conversation a few weeks ago. Did you have any takeaways from that conversation? Did I leave you hanging at all when it came to the Tom Bower interview? I want to ask him, don't let me forget, about in Revenge, he talks about Prince Harry and Meghan coming back for Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. And in the book, he says that Harry and Meghan, but mostly Meghan, was incredibly concerned about not being invited on the balcony because she needed that shot for Netflix. And so Tom actually says that Harry does outreach to try to convince the Queen and her courtiers to allow them on the balcony to appease Meghan, so Meghan can, remind the world about this proximity she has to the British royal family. So I want him to go into some of those details, and that was like the one question that was killing me that I didn't get to the last time we were talking. So let's talk to Tom Bower about that, and I'd love to know what your questions for Tom Bower would be. And then Hugo Vickers is coming in. We're going to chat to Hugo, one of my favorite royal authors. What would you ask Hugo? I mean, his entire life has been committed to studying the British royal family, this devotion he has to the royals. What's that like? It what is it like to be in the presence of the Queen? And, in the last Royally Unfiltered, he talks about some opportunities he had to show the Queen some items that he had obtained. Like, what's it like to impress the Queen with these personal items? That is something we could talk to Hugo about and ex ask him to expand on that. Richard Kay is coming in. Richard Kay is one of my favorite Princess Diana sources. I've never met him. I've never had the opportunity to speak to him, so this is such a big deal for me. Do you have any questions for Richard Kay? I'll tell you, he inspired me. I have a book called R is for Revenge Dress, and it's just a silly, cute coffee table book, like the kind of thing you'd find in an Urban Outfitters. Um, and S is for same time next week. And this is a Richard Kay story that I love. I wish I had the page in front of me because I could read it for you verbatim. But the story goes that King Charles this is post divorce, he had to use, or separation at least. I'll ask Richard to clarify. He has to use the restroom. He rings up Princess Diana, who's at Kensington Palace. He's in a helicopter and he says, can I use the restroom? And he lands on the pad at Kensington Palace, jumps out and runs into her apartment to use the bathroom. And as he leaves and is getting ready to take off again, she chases after him and yells, same time next week, and winks at him so that his team assumes that something else happened in there when he just needed a tinkle. And so S in my book is for same time next week based on that story, which I heard Richard Kay tell on a documentary. And I just thought it was the cutest story. And I thought it was such a sweet evolution in their, to their relationship. I know that there are conflicting reports, but according to Richard Kay, they, were friendly towards the end of Diana's life. And you saw real pain and hurt in Prince Charles, as he was known then, once Princess Diana passed. I mean, we always mention the boys at the funeral, and I still ache for the boys at Diana's funeral. The King Charles looked pretty torn up too. And remember, he wore her favorite suit that Diana loved. That's what he wore to her funeral, in honor of her. So I'm excited to interview Richard Kay. What would you ask him if you could talk to him about anything? Let me know in the comments below. And I think we're just going to make sure that we sit down with some of your favorites this week. Dickie Arbiter, I love and trust Dickie. We are going to try to rope in some new people and bring you some brand new content that hopefully you enjoy. But Kevin O'Sullivan is on the way. You absolutely adore Kevin O'Sullivan. Hopefully we get him fired up about something. Um, Rupert Bell. We're back in a pub with Rupert Bell. That's you can always look forward to Rupert in a pub telling us all of his wild connections to the British royal family. I just love all of the random ways that he has contacts with the royals that you would never expect. Oh, I was in a car with so and so. What? Maybe I'll get that story out of him publicly this time. We'll see. We'll see if I can persuade him to tell you that one. So we're going to meet up with Rupert Bell again. But what would you ask some of these characters that you see regularly on the channel? And I will pull some of these questions and we'll make sure that we give you that access. A couple of wild stories trending over the weekend that I'd also be curious to get your opinion on. The Sun cover today is that Prince Andrew is considering leaving Royal Lodge if he can have two homes in return. The audacity of this. I believe this story. I love the Sun. I really trust the Sun. And if we've learned anything over the last few months through some of the content that's come out through books and emails. It's that Prince Andrew has established himself as a pretty entitled and just the audacity. It really just kind of blows your mind, but a pretty entitled person. I just don't think that this is even remotely an option for him. Really, I am told that there are no negotiations going on. Like, it's not if Prince Andrew will leave Royal Lodge, it's when will he leave Royal Lodge. And last week, it was so important to the family that Italy be the Vatican meeting, be the focus. And so, uh, Yeah, does he have room to try to negotiate for two homes? I don't think he has that leg to stand on. Additionally, Windsor is becoming Prince William's, inevitably King William's forever place. That's where he wants his children to grow up. That's where he wants them to feel a sense of safety and security. And I think that Prince Andrew has proven to be such a distraction that it's not realistic for him to stay anywhere on the Windsor property anymore. And this is an example of like, be careful what you wish for, because had he downgraded to Frogmore Cottage when he was initially invited to, or it was initially suggested to him, there would not be as much of an uproar about getting him out of this 30 home man or 30 room mansion, because he would have already been downgraded. So the outrage, I just don't think would exist. Um, so yeah, he probably should have taken that deal when it was an option to him. Why would he need two homes on the Windsor estate? There's no excuse for that. I think they're trying to put Fergie up, and she doesn't deserve that. I don't think anybody would go, yeah, that sounds legit. So that story, I think, is going to really ruffle some feathers. And that I saw on the cover of the Sun today. And of course, I was asked about Meghan in the pumpkin patch, because nothing is more frightening than faceless children. Meghan in the pumpkin patch again. We have a save the date from Meghan for tomorrow, October 28th, which is a Tuesday. Something new is going to drop on As Ever. Who cares? So we will see more of Meghan within the next 24 hours. And I just talked to Kevin O'Sullivan about this on Morning Glory, but my he said, "Is this just Meghan trying to shill something?" And of course, it that's oh yeah, if the kids are brought out, of course, yes. But I'm also wondering if she's trying to prove how wholesome her and Harry are with the pumpkin. Look at the family. The mom, Doria, is making a rare appearance, and looks like we're carving pumpkins with Megan's Balenciaga BFF, Marcus Anderson. Like, we're wholesome. Um, to try to distance themselves from the Andrew drama, I just, it's not working for most of us. To me, I watched that video and I just instinctually felt she never was going to give up the celebrity that Harry, the elevated status that Harry provided her. She wanted to use that for fame. She never wanted to be a working member of the royal family. She never wanted to change the world and make it a better place. She wants to be famous. Otherwise, you wouldn't release content like the pumpkin patch video. Attention, 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 attention. I want attention. That's all that is. And so, yes, I think that she likes the attention. I think she likes having her name in the papers. And I also wonder if any of it is them trying to be like, we're not like Prince Andrew, we're wholesome. But I've argued pretty fiercely over the last week or so that you are who you associate with, and Harry and Meghan have some pretty questionable people in their corner. So if they don't want to be like Prince Andrew, they better straighten up and they better start cleaning house. Um, So that's my rant. I'm in the UK. I'd love to take a nap. Let's, like, fingers crossed I take a nap. I thought my curling iron was broken for half the morning, and then like it wasn't. So I went on with Kevin looking tore up from the floor up. I apologize in advance. It's freezing here, and the only jacket I brought is a cotton candy ombre rainbow trench coat to go with my Marie Antoinette Halloween costume. So I don't really feel like it's appropriate to run around my office in across the street my with my coworkers. I feel like I'm going to look silly. But it is real chilly over here. I was not prepared for it. Oh, you know what else I'm going to tell you and you don't care about? On the way here, I wore this hoodie from the Gap, and it has a tube inside the hood, and you can blow it. It's Shay Mitchell from Pretty Little Liars. It's her company. She's got a travel brand. She did a collaboration with the Gap. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not cool. I'm not hip. And you blow up the hoodie, and it's a neck rest. And I thought, this is so gimmicky. This is so silly. It was amazing. It was incredibly comfortable. And then the hoodie is big enough to where you can cover your eyes. Talk about the best possible hoodie for a 12-hour plane ride, okay? Okay, I'm exaggerating. It's 10 hours, but it feels like 12 when you can't sleep. And the options, the entertainment options are so unappealing. I like was watching Outrageous for the 15th time. That's a very good show on BritBox, by the way, in case you haven't seen it. It's great. Not great enough to watch for like the 12th time, but I was desperate for content. Crying baby in front of me. Um, so I've talked too much. I feel like this is what sleep deprivation looks like, but this is like my call to action. If you'd like a say, if you would like to participate in the interviews throughout the week, let me know some of your questions below for Valentine Lowe, Tom Bauer, Hugo Vickers, Sticky Arbiter, Rupert Bell, Kevin O'Sullivan. What would you ask those guys? And hopefully some surprises along the way, like Richard Kay. I'm really looking forward to that. And if anything happens and we don't get to see them while I'm here, I'm sure we can book them at a later date and we'll get your questions in the mix. But enjoy this trip with me. Have your say. I want you to feel a part of this conversation too. So thanks for being here with me. Agree with me, disagree with me on some of my Prince Andrew goss. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Kinsey Schofield.